Here we go then, part 4. Plan of attack this week on the old whiteboard is to get the head on, hang the turbo in position, get the flanges on, meaning the manifold flange and the T3 turbo flange, tack the pipes in positions. That does say test fit purple tag rack. Let's get this head on. Still got on without a head gasket for now. Oh, look at that. Loads of room. Hopefully the bonnet clears it. What do you reckon?
Should be lovely, mate.
Yeah, we might have to address that front lip bit. Go on then. Oh, no. That is touching. No, nowhere near.
We'll get an alley one. We'll cut this off flat.
Yeah.
And we'll take some breather takeoffs anyway.
Yeah, get an alley one. That'll be alright. Moment of truth then. Exhaust manifold and turbski.
Ain't gonna fit.
Ain't gonna fit. Not anywhere near. Look at that. Excellent.
Excrement.
So, exhaust manifold fits. It's a standard log manifold. But we got, you know, a bee's dick between the manifold and the shock tower, so we're not going to fit. But so what's the turbo then, Kevo?
I think it's a GT30 base max pedo turbo.
Hell yeah!
Got it on a package deal with the engine. Don't know much about it, but we're going to send it.
Can blow it up. But where do we reckon?
It's not going to fit on like that.
No, I think we're going to have to fit it forward, aren't we?
We've got a lot of space in the front. You know, the engines, even though we've pushed the engine back 100mm, we've still got so much more space than, you know, an M52.
Yeah. Loads of space. We've got like a foot in front of the engine, so you know.
What would be nice?
Yeah,
you could sit like under here.
Yeah. That would be ideal, because then the downpipe will literally just go straight back, won't it?
What would be nice if that was a anti-clockwise housing?
Yeah.
Or an anti-clockwise turbine and housing.
Mm-hmm.
Then that flange would sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be tight, but then you could, you know, get a T3 flange to a T3 flange, just make a 90 up, and that then just sit there.
Yeah, it'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Whether we can get another housing, the problem is it's right against that leg there.
I think realistically, bring it forward, sit it.
It's hard to tell, but at this stage, but
we could
you don't want to restrict flow too much, I guess.
No, that's true.
Clock this round, that can clock round.
This is all going to be open anyway, so you'll have enough airflow to come in.
So it's
realistically,
if we stuck up in there though, we're struggling for.
Yeah.
The only other is we spin that all the way around.
We
and
could.
Then that can come off here, but then you still have to go from there. Or we have got the factory manifolds for this, but they do come back.
Tough.
They point backwards this way, because obviously here's normally a naturally aspirated engine. So, but it's not to say we could make a Y pipe that could come up.
We could also do a bit of a brace.
We could make it sit there with a custom Y pipe, but it might be a bit high there. But you know,
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind doing. We got to do a bonnet bulge anyway, probably. And then all we'd need to do would be a little 90 degree there, wouldn't it? There we'd have.
It's a bit of a. It'd be a ripper. It's going to come on real quick.
Yeah.
Because we've got diesel box, so shouldn't shrink gears too much, but Should we size it up against the Borg one?
Yeah. So this is Kev's actual car, his drag car, that he's been building for how many years?
About 4.
About 4 years. And this is what we're using as a reference, all of Kev's knowledge. Look at the size difference in that. And what's this car built for? Obviously drag racing, but...
Drag racing and street, built to go fast really. I reckon it's probably sat around 550 at the moment.
And that's conservative as well, isn't it?
Yeah, then again, I don't really know what's sat at. I've never dynoed it yet. Going through some suspension works at the moment. Taking power steering off. Just trying to make it track straighter and not try and kill me every time I drive it.
But it is good fun to drive.
Oh yeah.
And we have got a few clips of it actually going, so I'll put one in now. Right then, plans have changed slightly this week. We were trying to work out a way to use the old log manifold because, you know, it would save us a lot of issues, but we think it's probably going to be too close to the strut tower using that, trying to hang the turbo off the side of that. So we've gone with the standard VR6 manifolds. Because it means we can just do 2 pipes into a Y piece and then bolt the turbo straight on the front of it. So it should be pretty good, hopefully. So we've got T3 flange bolted onto the turbo, and out here in the car we have head back on, standard manifolds back on with some flanges bolted to the bottom of them. And we're basically going to come straight back and swoop underneath into a Y pipe, straight into the turbo here. So next step is to probably build a little frame, hold the turbo here where we want it, off of these 2 either end M8s, and then send it. Before we get any further, what have we done, Kev? Show me, tell me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Up. We've made a rough as fuck jig.
Yeah, it works so, doesn't it?
Yeah, gives us rough guide of where we want to sit the turbo.
Doing.
Making some tubular manifolds.
Yeah, she's fucking mint, mate. Turbo manifold done.
Mocked up.
Mocked up. Well, yeah, it still needs welding, but it's in there. Sits quite high, but gives us enough space to fit the downpipe and everything back there. Sick. I have been and got myself a purple tag rack because everyone knows purple tags are the way to go for a drift car, or well, any E36 really. So I'm just going to see if that fits under there. I've got this from Steve Houston, my good friend down in Portsmouth. If you don't know him, he's the E36 man in the south of the UK. Runs Protezione. I will put a link in the description to his website and all his stuff, because he's also got a YouTube channel. But yeah, let's get on and see if it fits. Well, it doesn't fit as I expected it to. This line again is in the way, so I'm going to have to do the same as what I did to this line, which is hit it with a hammer and bend it over out the way. Nice. And there we go. Bit of gentle persuasion as always, the best tool in the toolbox is a hammer, and she fits. Try and get a good angle for you. Yeah, purple tag fits. Wicked. One step closer. Look at that. Ignore that. It's a work in progress, but we're going to clock the turbo round slightly, just so it's easier to get the boost pipes in, get rid of that. But yeah, look at that. Starting to look like a car. Well, it's starting to look like an engine. Well, it's Bank Holiday Monday, and I've got a few hours, so I thought I'd do something inside the car and have a look at fitting this chassis mounted shifter. Also got this from Steve, so thank you, Steve. Let's have a go at getting it in. So we're in the car. I reckon that is going to look pretty naughty, like that. I'm going to chop that out of the way, so never mind about that. One issue I am thinking is because the gearbox now sits quite high, I don't know if you can see that, there's not a lot of room here for the shift rod, so I might have to get creative. Maybe cut this bit out. I might have to raise the shifter up slightly, but minor issues. Let's get to it. So jumping forward just slightly, shift rod's in, but the actual connection to it is somewhere about here, which obviously is going to be no good to me, but it fits. There is a fair amount of clearance between there, so I might not have to raise the shifter. Luckily, this is adjustable, so I could just wind this all the way up. Right, next thing, I guess, just shorten that shift rod. The shifter's back out. That's where I think I've got to cut it. Obviously, it's a bit longer than we need. Hopefully, I can just cut it, clamp it in the vise, square it off, cut this thing off, and weld it back on. If not, I could probably make that on the lathe anyway. I had to set the old gaze bow up because naturally can't do anything outside in the UK unless it's raining. Christ. Back under the car for a final check just before I start cutting anything. I did actually have this round the wrong way, so there's like a little kink in it to a straight. I had it straight to a kink. I mean, I shouldn't make too much difference, but a little kink adds a little bit more clearance there. I just want to make sure that I can get into all the gears. What I think I might have to do, because this is difficult on my own, is cut it. That's the shifter stood up straight. Cut it, fit it to the shifter, and then probably move the shifter so it gets into all the gears. It might be a little bit off centre, but it is what it is. Just quickly, so I've cut both ends. Obviously I've got to try and, I'm just going to tack this together, but just a quick little tip: if you ever need to keep two things parallel and they're a bit far away from vice jaws, you stick a bit of alley in there or stick a bit of metal in there, whatever you can. It keeps it mostly level. I'm more concerned about these two being parallel than I am about this being parallel. I can always change this. Yeah, just need these two faces parallel. Nice bit of alley in there. Spot on. And here we go. Yeah, it's a little bit off, but the pins are parallel, and once I know it's in the right place, I will run a bead all the way around that and clean it up. But yeah, short and shift rod, easy as that. Also, what I failed to realise when I put it in the car is that these pins are slightly bigger than what the shifter is. So I've just done what any mechanic boy would do. Just grind her down a little bit. And she fits in spot on, and I have tested the clip and the clip still holds it in there. So we're good to go. Let's get it back on the car and try it out. As I expected, just had to move the shifter slightly forward because the actual rod was leaning back towards me. But I just tested it roughly where it is now, and it goes into all the gears and it goes into reverse. So I think the next step is drill some holes. Drill some holes, get this mounted. If it needs to be moved again, I can always weld the holes up and re-drill them. That's not a problem. But yeah, progress. Ta-da! She's in. She's mounted. I just need to tighten everything up, but first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and reverse. And it actually feels pretty decent. It's a little bit wobbly, but obviously I haven't tightened anything up. But yeah. And self-centering as well, which is what we like. Happy with that. Let's get it welded up, and that can stay in the car then. Well, that's all she wrote for this episode. Like I say, that's in there. It's all welded up. It's all tightened up, and I'm just hiding under the old gauge bow again in the rain. But yeah, that's for this week. Any questions? Leave me a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again. Thanks for watching.